All right, so there we have it, tenses. Instructor is me, and then introduction to tenses. So this is a question for you guys. What do we mean when we say I eat, I ate, I will eat, right? So these are three small phrases. They're saying the same thing, but what is the distinction between them? I eat, I ate, I will eat.
One is talking about the past, the other is talking about the present, and the other is talking about the future.
Right. So in that case, we can derive from what you said, Mariam, that tenses show time, right? They are showing you the time in which that thing happened or occurred, right?
Yes.
Tenses show the time of action. So present happening now, past already happened, future will happen later. At this point, things probably seem really simple, but then within present and within future and within past, there are several other types as well, right? That's where the nuance comes in, and that's what I hope you guys can take away from today. And honestly, the first time you learn these things, it can be a bit daunting because I remember back when I was in the ninth grade, 10th grade, when we were doing these things in class, it was a bit overwhelming in the beginning, but once you practice it and you make a habit of practicing these things, it becomes easier, right? So let's start. All right, so we'll be starting with present tense. Simple present is facts, habits, and routine, right? So the earth revolves around the sun. Fact, right? Simple present. I eat an apple every day. So that is your simple present. I eat an apple every day. Then comes present continuous, right? Continuous means that something that's in continuity. It's still happening, right? Happening right now. I am eating an apple. Then comes present perfect. Completed action with present impact. So it's something that was completed right recently, but it has its impact is in the present, right? I have eaten an apple. Then comes present perfect continuous, right? Started in the past, but is still ongoing. In the case of present perfect, the action has been completed, it's not ongoing, right? In the case of present perfect continuous, I think somebody has their mic on. Um, Whoever does, could they please switch it off? One of the students has their mic on. Could they please switch it off? Ali, you have your mic on. I'm trying to mute you. Okay. Guys, please make sure that you have your mics off because it will disrupt the class otherwise. Muhammad Naveed, we're doing tenses today. All right. So present perfect continuous started in the past and is still ongoing, right? And then how it differs from present perfect is that in present perfect, the action has been completed. Let's say it has been recently completed, but its impact is in the present. So I have eaten an apple, right? And then present perfect continuous, that thing started like a little while longer, a little while before, but it's still ongoing. I have been eating an apple for 10 minutes, right? So the 10 minutes means that at the sixth minute, at the fifth minute, at the second minute, they were also eating that apple, but they're still eating it now, right? Started in the past, but still ongoing. Usually in the recent past, right? Then comes past tense. Before we proceed to past tense, I want you guys to do a little activity for this, right? I'll show you guys a list of sentences, and you have to identify whether they are simple present, present continuous, present perfect, or present perfect continuous, right? Yes, I am an English instructor, Mohammed, but for today it's just a general class. Anybody who wants to learn this can come, right? But I'm an O levels English and IGCSE English instructor. Okay, just take a look at these again carefully, and then we will move towards the sentence, right? Also notice how present continuous differs from present perfect continuous. In present continuous, That thing is happening right now, as in it is in continuity right now. I am eating an apple. However, there is no indication that the apple was also being eaten 10 minutes ago or, in the past, right? In present perfect continuous, there is an indication that the thing started in the past but is still ongoing, right? So there's that distinction as well in present continuous and in present perfect continuous. If you guys have any questions so far, please feel free to send them in the chat and I will answer them. Otherwise, let's move towards the activity. All right. This will just take a minute to load. Right. So I would request you guys to please send your answers in the chat so that we don't have any mic issues. Identify which present tense type has been used in each sentence. Let's start with the first one. I drink coffee every morning. Is this present simple present? Is this present continuous? Is this present perfect? Or is it present perfect continuous? I drink coffee every morning. Simple present, simple present, simple present. Yes, it is simple present. Excellent. Moving on to the next one. And why is it simple present? Because it simply indicates that this is something, it's a routine, it's something that happens every day. In the present, I drink coffee every morning. She has been studying for 2 hours. So from 2 hours, there's an indication that it was also happening a little while back, and it is still happening, and it is in the present tense. So what would that be? So we have 2 responses. Anybody else? She has been studying for 2 hours. When I get the third response, I will give you guys the exact answer. So far, we have present perfect continuous and then present continuous are the 2 answers that we have as of yet. What would be the another answer? Anybody can send it in. And please do not annotate on my board. Right. She has been studying for 2 hours. Anyone else apart from the 2 students who sent in the answer, Mariam and Salama? Alicia, Shabaz, Hanya, what about you guys? Right, so present perfect continuous. It actually is present perfect continuous. So that is correct. Whoever said that? Present perfect continuous, yes. Thank you. Thank you guys. And why is it present perfect continuous? Because obviously there's a sense of continuity. Something she has been doing for 2 hours, right? Which means it's being done in the present and it's continuous. She has been studying for 2 hours. Then the fact that she's been doing it for 2 hours also implies that, let's say, in the first hour, she was also studying, which makes it present perfect as well. So present, perfect, continuous. Good work. We are watching a movie right now. What would that be? Please do not draw on the board. Present continuous, all right. Present continuous. Present continuous, present continuous. Right. Let me just check that from the key that I have as well. Yes, it is present continuous. We are watching a movie, right? So watching a movie, which makes it continuous. It's happening and it's continuing and it's happening right now. So present continuous. He has finished his homework. He has finished his homework. Present perfect, said one student, Mariam. What about the others? Guys, please do not, Muhammad Awais, please do not draw on my board. Apart from Mariam. So Mariam said present perfect. Anybody else? He has finished his homework. It's all right. Pratna, what do you think? What about Hanya? Alicia, what do you think? Avanish, what do you think? Present perfect, all right. Anybody else? Present perfect, right. So guys, this is present perfect. The reason being that this was something that was finished, the action was completed in the past, but its impact is in the present. He has finished his homework, right? So that is why it's present perfect. Now moving on to the next set. Pradna, do you get it now? Why it was present perfect? Okay. Now coming to past tense. A lot of you are going to be writing summaries or stories in past tense, right? So if you find anything here that you don't already know, you can make a note of it, although I will be sharing the slide anyways. Past tense types. So these are the first two. Simple past. Completed action in the past. Remember, it's a completed action, right? Means it's done and it's over with. I ate an apple yesterday. It's not I ate half an apple yesterday and I'm eating the rest of it right now. It's not continuous, right? So there's no sense of continuity in it. It's done and dusted in the past. I ate an apple yesterday. And coming to past continuous. Past continuous is an ongoing action in the past, right? It was an ongoing action, but it was also in the past. I was eating an apple when my phone rang, right? So that there was this continuity in the past of eating the apple when the phone rang, right? Then past perfect, completed before another past action, right? So the condition for past perfect is that it's completed, the action, whatever it is, it has been completed before another past action. So it's not like present perfect in that sense. I had eaten an apple before you arrived. I had eaten an apple, right? The completed action before you arrived, the second past action, right? Then comes past perfect continuous, a continued action before another past event. So these two are very closely linked. In this case, it was a completed action before another past action. In this case, in past perfect continuous, it's a continued action before another past event, right? Continued action in the past before another past event. I had been eating an apple for 10 minutes, so there was a continuity of eating the apple for 10 minutes before second past action, you came, right? We're quickly going to go over these again, and then we will jump towards our activity. Simple past, entirely completed action in the past. I ate an apple yesterday. Past continuous, ongoing action in the past. I was eating an apple when my phone rang. Past perfect. So whatever there's two things happening at the same time, you can link that to past perfect. Usually, I had eaten an apple before you arrived. Past perfect continuous. I had been eating an apple for 10 minutes, right? So ongoing for 10 minutes before you came, right? An ongoing action before another past event or action. Now let's go to the activity. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. All right, identify which past tense type has been used in each sentence in this chain of events. Yesterday, I woke up late. So which one would this be? Simple past. Guys, please for today, send your answers in the chat. Simple past. All right, simple past, simple past. I think it was Anish who said simple past, so that was correct as well. So yes, it is simple past. An entire action that was done and dusted in the past. Yesterday, I woke up late. Full stop, right? I ran to the bathroom to brush my teeth, right? So this, what is this? I ran to the bathroom to brush my teeth. Is it simple past? Is it past continuous? Is it past perfect? Or is it past perfect continuous? Okay, one student said past perfect. One student said past continuous. Another student said past continuous. One student said simple past. Those who are saying past continuous, is there any sense of continuity in this sentence? I ran to the bathroom to brush my teeth. Does it say for 15 minutes or for half an hour or something like that that suggests continuity? Because the condition for past continuous is that there needs to be something that's ongoing, an ongoing action in the past. So is there something? Or there isn't? There isn't? Okay. Is there anyone who thinks there is? Or if there is, where is it? Right, there needs to be a sense of continuity in past continuous. In this case, there isn't. There is no continuity. I ran to the bathroom to brush my teeth. And by the way, this is all linked. This is all one story. So this is simple past, right? Yesterday I woke up late, simple past. I ran to the bathroom to brush my teeth, also simple past. Nothing ongoing here. Next sentence. While I was brushing, the water suddenly stopped. What is this now? Okay, so one student said it's past perfect continuous. Anybody else? All right, so there's two people saying past perfect, three people saying past perfect continuous. But the thing is, when something is past perfect, right? The action has already been completed. But in this case, the brushing isn't completed as of yet, right? So it will be simple past continuous. Right, thank you, Salama. In the case, in the condition that you have perfect in anything, past perfect, that action is done. It's complete. Let me show you guys the, right. Past perfect completed before another past action. Past perfect continuous, continued action before another past event, right? I had been eating an apple for 10 minutes before you came.
वही बहुत जल्दी बनी है वो बस एक वही रोटी
Please make sure that your mics are muted when you enter the meeting. Just a note for next time. So in this case, past perfect continuous is when it's a continued action before another past event, right? In this case, this is a continued action. Actually, this should be past perfect continuous because it meets the condition, which is I had been eating an apple. So past perfect continuous, continued action before another past event. So these are both two past events. This is the continued action, so it is correct. That's my bad. All right. For the next one, I have forgotten to pay the water bill. I had forgotten to pay the water bill. Simple past, says Mayam. Anybody else? I had forgotten to pay the water bill. Past perfect, says Pratna. Anybody else? I want one more answer and then we'll check it. Then I'll give you guys the correct answer. Hania, what do you think? Or Salama? Or Avanish or Mayam? Oh, Mayam, you've already answered. Past perfect continuous. Okay, so it's actually past perfect, right? Let's see the condition for past perfect again. Completed before another past action, right? I had forgotten to pay the water bill. In this case, they're actually linking it to this. The water suddenly stopped. I forgot to pay the water bill. So this was kind of together in that sense. I forgotten to pay the water bill. So something that happened in the past, it was a completed action before another past action, right? I forgotten to pay the water bill, complete action, forgetting to pay. And then because of that, the water suddenly stopped. Although this isn't one sentence, but because of the story, they have put it as a second event, all right? So that was our activity for this. Now moving on to future tense. Future tense is, not used as much. I'm sorry, my throat is a little compromised today. It's not used often by students because it's, students usually stick to students' stories in the past, right? Future tense is very rarely used by students. But, if you're somebody who writes science fiction or something of that sort, you can always use future tense as well. They would actually like it if you tried something new in an exam setting. Types of future tenses: simple future, a decision, a prediction, a plan. I will eat an apple later, right? It's either a decision, a prediction, or a plan in the future. I will eat an apple later. Future continuous, action in progress in the future. So, ongoing action in the future. I will be eating an apple at 6 p.m. Future perfect, completed action before a future time. I will have eaten an apple before you arrive. Right now, notice that this I will have eaten an apple is also in the future. I'm sorry about the throat. But before you arrive is even more so in the future than I will have eaten an apple, right? So if we look at these two things categorically, I will have eaten an apple will be in the past. In the future, it will be in the past. And before you arrive will be in the future of the future, if that makes sense, right? So I will have eaten an apple before you arrive. Both are in the future, but even in the future, I will have eaten an apple will happen first, right? It will be a completed action, which makes it future perfect, before you arrive. Future perfect continuous. Action continuing up to a future time. I will have been eating an apple for 10 minutes by 6 p.m. So let's just go over these two again. So future perfect again is a completed action, complete action before a future time. I will have eaten an apple before you arrive. Future perfect continuous, action continuing up to a future time, right? So it's not done, it's continuing up to a future time. I will have been eating an apple for 10 minutes, which means that they will still be eating an apple by 6, right? I'll just take a quick look at the chat and then so this was the last type. We will just be finishing off with its activity and then we will be done. element, the present perfect ones they can be slightly tricky when identifying. But that's why, that was the purpose of this class, to just give you that initial taste of these, right? So that, again, when I was first introduced to all of these, it was a bit daunting to begin with, right? Um, Passively receiving information like you are today is of little help if you don't practice these, right? Listening to a lecture on this and then attempting to write something in future perfect continuous tense are two worlds apart, right? I want you guys to just start incorporating these things a little bit in your writing. If you're somebody who writes in present tense, try present continuous, try present perfect. If you're somebody who writes in past tense, as most of you do, try to incorporate these other tenses as well within that category, right? And you can, right? If you're writing in present tense, then you in that same essay you can incorporate all four types. You can, right? Um, so I hope you will. Identify which future tense type has been used in each sentence. These are not together. This is not a story. This is not a chain of events. They're separate sentences. I would travel to Japan next year. Simple future, simple future, simple future. Yes, that's correct. It is simple future. In 10 years, I will be working as a scientist. In 10 years, I will be working as a scientist. Future continuous is Pratna. What about the others? Mariam said future perfect. So it's actually future continuous. The reason being the word working gives away that in 10 years in the future, I will be working, right, as a scientist. So the word working gives it away. By the time I turn 30, I will have written a book. By the time I turn 30, I will have written a book. Okay, so most of you are on the right tracks. You're either saying future perfect continuous or you're saying future perfect. It's actually future perfect because this action has been completed. I will have written a book, not I will be writing a book, or I will be in the problem, or my book will still be ongoing, right? By the time I turn 30 in the future, I will have done and dusted. I will have written, right? So that's future perfect, not continuous. Because it's not continuous, the book has been written by the time he's 30 or she's 30. So that is all for today. If you guys have any questions, now is the time to ask. I will share these slides and then also the tenses activities with you, and you can, do them in your own time again. Any questions? All right, guys, and that was it for today. That was the last skills class. I really hope that you guys can try to use these things in your writing, right? If you don't want to be too experimental, you can always, just stick to the tense that you usually use, right? For most of you, that is past, right? And just try to shift between, past perfect, past continuous, past perfect continuous, wherever you can. All right, Pratna. Salama, I actually don't put these on YouTube. I'm yet to decide whether I will be putting up these recordings or not, or whether I will make them available or not. But the point was to give live classes. And for the future, I will have to think about, how to, whether to put these up or not. So that will be my decision to make. But otherwise, I will be giving you guys these resources anyways. You guys can use them. So everyone can use them. All right, guys, that being said, we're done for today. Thank you for coming. I hope you learned something. I did, definitely, making this. And best of luck for whatever exams you have coming up, or even with if you guys are writers, if you want to write anything. I hope this will help. Goodbye, Khudafez.